Hello everybody, my name is MsRheyRhey and welcome to Discovering Fandoms, where I take fandoms of any kind, be it video game, TV, or movie. Any kind of fandom there is, I will give you an introduction of what you would be getting into. Spoiler free, I promise. Today, I will be talking about Samurai Jack. So, let's get started. Samurai Jack is an animated series that was created back in 2001 by Genndy Tartakovsky. The show made 4 seasons in a span of 3 years, and now, 14 years later, holy shit, they are making their 5th and final season to cap off the series as a whole. The genre of this series, as you can imagine from the title, is more of an action series than it is anything else, but you can find any kind of genre you can in any of the episodes that have aired, especially comedy. During the beginning of its time, it was picked up by Cartoon Network and was rated PG-13 for a kid audience, considering it kind of heavily involved action and sequences of the sort. And now, with its final season coming out and being picked up by Adult Swim, it can be seen as an actual animated series, not just specifically meant for kids. Although, personally, I don't think that cartoon specifically back then was really targeted towards kids. I think it was just targeted towards their audience, and hey, some kids liked it. The narration in the opening title sequence probably does the best job of explaining what this series is without really spoiling anything. So, let me paraphrase and put the intro into third person for you so I can fuck it all up. I'll even put pictures in front of you so you don't really have to look at my face when I'm doing the botched intro. Long ago, in a distant land, Aku, the shape-shifting master of darkness, unleashed an unspeakable evil. But a brave samurai warrior wielding a magic sword stepped forth to oppose him. And before the final blow was struck, he tore open a portal in time and flung him into the future where his evil is law. Now the samurai seeks to return to the past and undo the future that is Aku. The series revolves around Jack, which is the samurai who I mentioned, and this samurai is the world's only hope in defeating Aku, this embodiment of evil. So when this show was coming out, I was still kind of in primary school at the time, and when I was that young, its airing time always conflicted with my family's church-going schedule, so I didn't get to see it from like beginning to end whenever I could, but whenever it was on TV, I always have things in my hands when I'm talking to you guys because I need to fidget. I would love watching it so much. I loved the action of it. I loved that it was so much different from like Dexter's Laboratory, the Powerpuff Girls that I was also watching at the time. The way the show is different from all the other TV shows from the early 2000s was actually that this one actually really focused on like the scenery and the animation telling you the story instead of the dialogue or the characters like prompting you to. It was really amazing, and it actually made some awesome soundtracks for the series. I don't know if you could buy those separately from like the show itself, but I hope they can because they did some awesome work with it. It got onto a lot of the darker topic that you didn't really see in kid shows at the time. Like, yeah, the very intro into the premise of the series was this 3-episode continuation, kind of like a movie in going into the series, and one of the first things it shows you while Jack is in the future is kind of like this show's version of slavery, but it didn't use people, it used dogs instead, so like they got away with it for kids, but like it also, like it showed you like the tragedy of it all, and even as a kid, you not really knowing what slavery was, you knew this was bad, and you knew that people were suffering, and that it's not something that you should do, you know, dog or not. And the show itself was incredibly diverse. I mean, not just like with humans, it had like aliens in it, there's a lot of robots. That's how we got away with doing a lot of the action and killing, because Cartoon Network wouldn't want you to show blood, so a lot of the things that he was slicing and dicing into were robots. Kind of like Germany, but you know, I guess that's how you get away with things, and with it still being okay to show to children, even though, you know, the kids aren't stupid. You realize there was aliens, there were humans, there were robots. Even in the human category, there weren't just one kind of white person. He was kind of traveling all throughout this futuristic world and meeting and interacting with so many different kinds of cultures and villages and people. There is a frequented side character that comes in to help all the time, and he is this Scotsman that is just loud and in your face and obnoxious, and he's amazing. And I love that the show is getting the closure that it really needs, starting tomorrow actually, from when this airs, with its 5th season, because the show ended so abruptly back in 2003. It ended with him walking into the sunset, still trying to get this goal of defeating Aku, which he hasn't done yet. And it was just left there. Like, we were all waiting for the next season. Apparently it was on hiatus or something instead of like formally canceled. And it's nice that it's finally getting, like, it's continuing and probably gonna get its proper closure now that it is 2017, and you know, they're able to not be constricted by the category of it being for kids. Not that it was restricted then. They had already been working with Cartoon Network at the time anyway, so they kind of knew what was up, and they probably created the show exactly how they wanted. But now that it's been 14 years, I'm gonna stop talking about that now. And it has such a great story in it too, like, not just like with the single episodes that actually, you don't really need to know the premise of the story. If you get into a random episode, they can be standalone, even though the entire series has its story itself. So it's really cool. I love episodes like that. And the animation style for it, I don't know, you don't see that all the time, and it was really amazing. And so I totally recommend checking out the series if you want to. I can guarantee you there will be one episode in there that you will just love. That is it for this Samurai Jack themed episode. I will now spin the wheel of fandom to let you know what I will be talking about next week or this next episode, because this one I think is a week late as well. No, it was the week before that. Anyway. Spun. So it looks like this next time will be anime themed, which is great. So if you have any anime suggestions for this Discovering Fandoms that you want me to talk about, I will wholeheartedly take them into consideration. Thank you guys so much for watching. I very, very much appreciate it. If you want to check out other Discovering Fandoms, there will be playlists somewhere around here. If you want to check out whatever else I do, there will be another something in there whatsoever. But I will see all of you in the next episode. Have a wonderful life.